Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games. I'm here with another Star Wars Destiny video, and spoilers continue to pour in for Star Wars Legacies, Star Wars Destiny Legacies, and today we've got the red cards. So let's take a look at what we've got. Finn looks pretty exciting at 1216 for 11. We have a not unreasonably costed character with 3 damage sides and a 4th willpower on a special. This feels really strong to me. 4 damage sides and a resource. It's almost like the perfect dude. This is just another one of those cards though where it's going to be like, how good is 3 indirect? 3 indirect seems really good to me. 1 indirect seems kind of blah. They just put it where they want. 3 is still a pain. That's a lot of damage. I think he's going to be very good. The question is more just going to be, is he better than our other options at 16? You can certainly pair him with Luke. You can pair him with all kinds of stuff now. With, you can do really interesting things like Elite Finn, Elite Yoda. Anytime you want, you can flip him to his special side. More importantly, though, you could then run him with like Poe's Blaster and flip that to the special. I just feel like Finn is really, really good. It's going to be interesting to see if, the 16 and 14 elite is the way it ends up going, or if just Aayla Secura is so good at 12 elite that there's some 18 cost guy that's even better. But the bottom line is Finn is awesome. I hope he's good enough that we see him see play. He's really good. 4 damage sides is really, really strong. All right, Suppression Field. This is a really interesting card. For the cost of a block or a dodge, which removes all the damage on the board, you can sink your money into a card that is going to probably get to remove 2 dice. So you discard the support if it has 3 or more damage on it. So theoretically, you're playing this. You're exhausting it to pull a 2 off, maybe even a 1 off. Maybe you get to go 1, 1, and then a 2 and get 4 damage and 3 dice with it. But you should be able to get 4 damage with it, at least 2 dice. It's an interesting card. If you can build around the taking damage off of it element, this card could be really strong if you get it early. So that's going to be kind of the interesting thing. There are enough cards that are good and worth playing that pull damage off. If they are, this card is great. If not a big fan of this card. I mean, you got to pay 2 to get it down. You lose the surprise effect. Maybe you play with something like Docking Bay and then you're looping it for only 1. That would be pretty strong. Like, it's a decent card. I just feel like removal that's a surprise is probably better, and 2 is a lot. Like, just the way we construct decks, we like 1 cost removal. That way, like, if we have an extra resource, we can pay 2 for an upgrade, play a removal. Putting 2 into removal, there's a reason why people don't play Dot Block and Dodge, and it's not because those cards aren't awesome. It's because they're too expensive. Mend. A field mech, only better. I mean, I like the existence of this card. I think there may be some decks that feel like, 2 for 3 is worth it. I can play 2 field medics, 2 mends, just heal for days. Like, I like that possible archetype. It allows you to have more possibilities for a Voltron type archetype, where what I mean by that is just, I'm putting everything on this guy. I'm going to put Force Illusions. I'm going to mend him. I'm going to caution him. You are not killing this guy, period. End of story. As such, I can put things like, just 4 cost upgrades on somebody because I know I can keep them alive. That's pretty intriguing. So we'll have to see if Mend pushes us far enough along that lines. I'm kind of excited for Mend, actually. Rose. Rose is like the worst card ever, unless she's in a remove a damage from a support deck and it's actually good. Because if you look at 811, that's Maz. Maz is way better than Rose. Like, it's not even close. Aayla Secura is really close to being the same price. I just feel like Rose is pretty blah. Not doing damage I mean, she has the 1 damage side. And she's not very good, but like I said before, if we can find some deck where removing damage from a support is real, then that could be good. Final Moment is such a cool card. I really like this card. I don't know if it's good at all, but it's such a cool design. So it's like you could play some sort of, like I was talking about before, some sort of Voltron deck where you've got like a character with 3 baller upgrades on him that just kills everybody, but you always know it's a close game at the end, and you can save Final Moment for that turn when that character's gonna die. Boom, you ready him again, you throw out another pile of damage, and you win. 4 is a lot. This card just feels overcosted to me. I get why, because it's so powerful. But it's unlikely you're going to ready more than 1 character. Like, at that point, why are you doing it, right? Like, if you have more than 1 character, you're fine. Don't worry about this card. So it's really just for when you have 1 character. It just kind of feels like 3 probably would have been fine. You have to win or you lose, right? Like, I don't know. 4 seems like a lot. I'm hoping to put it in a deck and pull it off. But 4 seems overcosted, and we'll have to see if it can find a spot. I love the idea, though, and the thematic art behind it is amazing as well. Tarkin, oh my goodness. This card is so exciting and feels so broken. This is the way I'm envisioning that you play the Tarkin deck. Is you go 13 for 1 die. You can either do something like 2 Guavians, which is interesting, or you play somebody awesome for 17. I don't know if that's the new Kylo, new Vader, whoever it is. But basically, they're the target. And you just load up Tarkin with a bunch of 1 cost or 0 cost upgrades. Like, for instance, you could go play holocrons and force speeds and stuff like that. And then you hit the +1 resource on the holocron, or you hit the blank and a blank on something else, and you remove those 2 to do 4 damage. Like, you're not going to want to give up good character dice for this effect. I mean, it might be worth it still. But, like, 0 cost upgrade dice to be able to trigger this is insane. And the dark side has a bunch of them. At least, like, you could probably do several 0s, and the holocrons are worth it anyway because they piggyback you into more. Force speed's still awesome, so it's not like you're sacrificing, right? And you're like, well, it's opportunity cost. I'm playing these cards I wouldn't want to play. No, you're playing them anyway. I feel like Tarkin, he might not be broken, but boy, he's close if he's not. I mean, he's really good. That ability is one of the best abilities in the game. He's got a double focus side. His dice really don't even matter. It's his ability. He's got 11 health. I think the mistake is going to be people will go like Elite Tarkin, 14 points elsewhere. And I think that's an error because then you just kill Tarkin and then the game's over. I think you really just put all your eggs in the other basket and Tarkin just stands there and he's like, what up? You really want to kill me? The other dude is obliterating you. But by the way, I am doing 4 a turn just with my ability. So I think Tarkin is really, really good. I think he's pretty much an archetype. I'm really, really excited for Tarkin. He's absurdly good. Grand Moff. Very interesting. The dice are quite strong. A 2 damage, a 3 damage, 2 resources, big time focus. Like, you could play this with all-ins and just completely just ruin games. But it costs 4. And it has to be a unique red character. Only there aren't that many beefy red characters worth playing this on. I mean, immediately jumping to mind is something like a Phasma Guardian deck. But Phasma Guardian decks don't tend to make piles of money disposable to the point where they could just toss 4 on. Certainly an interesting guy is Thrawn. He makes enough money where you probably could pull this off. He is a beefy red character. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not sure it's good, though. Like, All these 4 or 5 cost upgrades in every single set, people have drooled, and I've always said, yes, they look awesome, but tell me the 4 to 5 cost upgrade you play, and the answer is always there aren't any. And I fear this falls into that same category. It's like I constantly think to myself, like, how good would a 4 cost upgrade without redeploy have to be to make it worth playing? It's hard. It's hard to come up with that number. I'm not sure. Obviously, having said that, Holocron's is a different story, but I don't know. Moth looks good. It's cool. I'll definitely try it. The power action is really cool, being able to just use the claim ability on a battlefield or switch the one you need, but it does cost 4 for an upgrade. That makes me worried. Callus. It's a really, really, really weird power action. We'll start with, dude has 4 damage sides. That is a lot. The problem is it's 2 1s, and so you're like, oh, maybe that's not that great. But he is 14, 18. He feels a little bit expensive. You think about all the just over-the-top 13, 17s we have right now. That gives me some serious pause as to whether or not he'll see play. His power action is really strange. Turn one of his dice showing range to melee or vice versa. So it's like, if you have the extra dollar, you can turn to the 3. If you don't, you can turn to the 2. So it's kind of cool in that you can always flip one of his dice to the 3 or the 2, which is cool. So I don't know. I'm torn on it. Maybe he's just amazing, right? Maybe it's just like it's a guaranteed 2 or 3 every turn, and then maybe that just makes him awesome. So I'm curious to see him in action. He might be really, really strong. 3 steps ahead, Admiral Thrawn. Interesting. I mean, taking 3 actions, the things you can do, right? It's like, I rolled out, I rolled my other guy, I've got 6 dice in the pool, I didn't roll well. Heck, I'll take 3 actions. Reroll, kill all your guys. The problem is, Tactical Mastery only costs 1 for 2 actions, and 3 is a ton. Oh my goodness, is 3 so much. So it's interesting. What I do like about it is I hate action cheating that's like repeatable and free, stuff like force speed. Love this kind of action cheating. This is the kind of action cheating I like. It costs a lot, but it's impactful, and it's also not repeatable. It just happens the one time. So there may be a really cool deck that's like Tactical Mastery and 3 steps ahead, to where they can never mess with your dice. You can roll out and you'll get to resolve. So that's cool. I just feel like 3 is a lot. Like, I don't think that's going to see much play. Crackdown, 0 cost. All right, I like it already. Play only if each of an opponent's characters has 1 or more damage on them. Gain a resource. I don't know about this one. Like, it's really good, right? Being able to get a resource. The problem is you most need them early, so you won't be able to get it early. You won't be able to get turn 1. So this is more like a turn 2 or 3 card, and in order to make it happen, you have to intentionally split your damage, which is not really what you want to do. So I don't know. I have a feeling it'll end up seeing play, just because resources are worth a lot, and it's hard to find good resource generating cards. So I think we'll end up finding a spot for this. Like, we could play this instead of logistics. You could even play this with logistics. Imagine a deck where you go like Enrage, Logistics, Crackdown, Truce, and you just play whatever you want. That has me thinking maybe that's gonna be amazing. All right, let's see. I think we got all those cards covered in the actual small pictures. So that's it. That is going to wrap up today's spoiler review of the red cards. Lot of good stuff. A lot of really impactful stuff. Legacies is really shaping up to be an exciting set that is full of really awesome cards that are interesting designs rather than just over the top broken, which is the big challenge when you have a bigger card pool of releasing new cards that do something impactful but are not busted. So kudos to FFG for this set. It's looking like it's a really good one. And I'll see you next time on Tiny Grimes Games.